And good morning. Joe Jackson here, co-pastor of the church at Wellington. This is our 21 days of prayer and fasting. What an adventure. We're at day number 11. I've entitled this devotion today, Taken by Fear. It's out of Exodus chapter number 14, verse number 10. Let's see what that says. And when Pharaoh drew near, the children of Israel lifted their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them. So they were very afraid, and the children of Israel cried out to the Lord. Well, how quickly things have changed. Not saying that the Israelites did anything different that we would have done, but just what happened to their courage? You have to get the picture in your head in order to understand the verse. The Israelites were confident as God had led them thus far. But really nothing had happened yet. They have been guided into a place nestled between some mountains and protected somewhat by the desert and the Red Sea. So feeling pretty safe in their situation, they set themselves into battle lines and with courage prepared for the enemy that they have by now heard that is on the way. All of this courage and preparation is, of course, until they actually see the enemy coming. But then the word says, then they laid eyes on the enemy. You know the feeling. All is great when you're sitting in the pews at church or as you read your favorite encouraging Bible verses. But then comes Tuesday or whatever day it happens to be. All of a sudden, the reality of the struggle for your soul becomes all too real as you first lay eyes on the enemy. Then the enemy's opening salvo is a quick shot of fear right across the bow. The natural reaction is to look with your own wisdom, evaluate your chances of victory, and then you must make a decision. The first decision that a lot of people make, though, is to cut and run. Here in the scripture that we read, the word says that they were very afraid. Of course they were very afraid. They were looking upon one of the greatest, most frightening sights that they had ever seen. They have known nothing but generations of the painful results of being held as slaves, which always comes with forceful intimidation and oppression. Now, those whom they were subject to have been angered. It seems that everything has gotten worse. What's the second thing they decided to do? Cry. To add to the fact, I'm going to say it like this. They cried like a little baby girl. Not to impugn any of you females, but just to put a very vivid picture in your mind. They simply cried. Maybe they sat out in the sand and cried. Maybe they just dropped their swords and cried. Or maybe they just stood there and began to weep at the thought of their utter defeat. Because we know how this portion of the story is going to end, we also know that their fear is unwarranted. Yet they stand and their hearts are quickly melting at the sight of these Egyptians. The point for today is that everything you see does not really mean the sudden, utter destruction and doom has descended down upon you. We have to get to the place that based on our relationship with Christ, we know that the greater the battle before us, only serves to be a greater opportunity for God's power to be seen. Today, take a quick look at the battles that you face and try to see the size of the deliverance of God in the details. And oh, by the way, no crying. Hey, you serve a great God, and He is going to do great and mighty things through you if you will just allow Him to do His thing. Let Him be God. God bless you today, and I will see you back here tomorrow.